My name is Dru Levasseur. I'm the transgender rights attorney for Lamba Legal here in New York City. Everybody has a gender identity. Gender identity is defined as the inner sense of being male or female or otherwise. And for trans people, your gender identity doesn't match the sex that was assigned or presumed at birth. So a lot of our documents, like for example, your birth certificate, that was given the moment you were assigned a sex at birth. But if later in life you transitioned and you're living your life as a gender that doesn't match that, you can have lots of difficulties. It really requires a bit of privilege within the trans community to be able to even get to the point where you can change those identity documents. It means that, you know, trans people who are on the whole a marginalized and poor community end up not being able to afford, you know, and able to access these kinds of changes. Often we've heard stories of people, you know, going into places and, you know, being denied or turned away or being, you know, forced to leave establishments because their gender marker or their name or whatever on their identity document doesn't match who they look like at the time. I've personally experienced as a trans person the fear and stress and terror of having an identity document on me that doesn't match who I am. On my own personal transition, I was really afraid to, for example, go into the men's room until I had that M on my license. The first time I did go to a men's room, because, you know, I was presenting as male, it was too scary to go into the women's room, honestly. Speaking of safe spaces, the last time I used a women's room, I was physically assaulted. This woman, you know, arm-barred me at the Newark airport and said, "That's the ladies' room," you know, and at the time I still had an F and I didn't know where to go, and it was very upsetting and startling to, you know, be physically assaulted. That kind of stress is just ongoing, and so many trans people are not able to you know, change their DMV, you know, their driver's license or their birth certificate or all these, you know, passport things. It can be a really stressful situation that can lead to lots of, you know, terrible things. There's a need for some solutions around voting rights for trans people to make sure that they are counted this election season. One of the things that we advocates are asking states whether or not they have photo ID requirements is to do a training and have a policy manual for the poll workers so that there's basically a Trans 101 that poll workers are introduced to trans people and understand the ins and outs of what's appropriate to ask. There might be situations where a trans person has a whole host of different IDs showing different gender markers because of the various standards. So allowing a person to verify this is who I am so that they're not prevented from voting is really key.